Affirmations with Glenn.
Good day, everyone. This is Awesome Radio 106.9 FM, WBIS-LP. Radio with the spirit of excellence, Christian inspiration for the family, and ministry teaching for practical living. Jackie, would you put your phone on mute, please? Because I hear audio coming from somewhere.
It's not my phone.
It's the computer.
It's the computer.
Thank you. Put it on mute, please. Thank you. And we have a very exciting topic today for your listening audience. That is Back to School 2023, Pitt County, North Carolina, and back to school safety tips. I will introduce my co-host, Ms. Jacqueline Cullins-Williams, at this time.
Hey, Dr. Glenn. It is a good day to be here today, and we're glad to be here today. Got a great subject on today, and we are hearing that feedback, but we're going to see if we can find out what it is. But it's a good day today, and a good subject on today. We know that it's the latter part of the year and that kids are going back to school. And so it is our back to school time. And so we want to have a subject today about returning to school. And so we have some back to school tips on today and some information for you on those of you that have kids that are in school. And we are glad for you on today. Glad to be here. We're trying to figure out. I think we have it. Is it still happening? It's still happening. Yeah.
We'll just have to get through it, so we can continue while I get this thing corrected on my chair.
Yes, and so it's an awesome day on today. We are glad to be here with this subject. We're going to do give you some back to school information for all ages here on today. We also have some school supply lists, just some things that are there. Also, some places where you may be able to go and get school supplies if you need them for your children.
And Jackie, can I ask you, are some of those places that's giving away the free school supplies, are they still available? To your knowledge?
There are some places, and especially look out for churches and those type of places. Look at those announcements and things. You know, if you're open in the community and stuff, or you belong to a church, there's a lot of church organizations that are still giving out school supplies. And so we have a list here, I think, that are of different places that are giving out school supplies. A lot of charities give away school supplies. And it also talked about a particular name that's familiar to us, like the Boys and Girls Clubs. So go to those places and check out those places. I mean, we don't want to put a bunch of names out there, Dr. Glenn, but check some of the local places and see if they are giving out school supplies. I know that the churches are not all done giving out supplies. And if you have an announcement about supplies that you would like for us to announce on the air, send it to us or email us, and we'll announce your school supply giveaway. But a lot of the smaller churches and things, they're giving away school supplies. Dr. Glenn?
I think that's so beneficial to our students. So we're going to talk about some of those things further We're going to talk about school safety because that's of the utmost importance. Safety is always a factor for everyone to follow. Also, since we live in a democratic society and we have representatives that control our government and things of that nature, so we'll get into born into power versus elected because a lot of parents tell their children, look, get a good education. You can be wherever you want to be. You can even be president of the United States. And that is a factual thing. That is factual. We'll get into that as we get to the broadcast because I want to point out it's imperative to our children to get to earn and receive a good education because, as I mentioned, we live in a democratic society where our representatives are either elected or appointed, unlike some other countries where their children could be born into monarchy and to power. And we don't have that privilege. So, as long as you are a natural born citizen of the United States, meaning that you were born in the United States and that you are naturally a citizen, and because of your age, you could then be qualified to be president of the United States. But having a good education will exceed that and take you further because you have a good intelligence and a good education. So you can be president or anything like your parents always tell you because you're not born into power. You have to be elected or appointed or earn it. Jackie.
Definitely, Dr. Glenn. That's some good information for our viewers and our listeners on today. So today, I just want to say to the parents, as we're talking about back to school, and just encourage parents to know that you are the greatest advocate for your child. You're the best advocate for your child, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that you need help or you need support or you need things to help you in your role as being a parent. But I just want to encourage you that you're the first line of defense and you're the best line of defense for your child. And your child is not going to make it without you. They need you and they are really, really dependent upon you. I wanted to tell you too that if you find that you're struggling as a parent and you can't help them with their schoolwork or certain things, that is nothing wrong with admitting that and reaching out for help. Ask for help. Ask for someone to help you. Find a tutor. Find someone that can help and ask the teacher and the school for resources that may be able to help you with helping your child. And so we want to do a few tips that are going to help you as a parent and things that some of these things, because I absolutely work near the school or in the school system and working with children. There's some good tips that I know here that will help you. And so, Dr. Glenn, you'll be able to help us and chime in on some of these tips because you were a parent and we all were parents and we knew we did some things that were successful and we did some things that we needed to work on as parents.
You said, well, a parent. I am a parent. I wasn't. It didn't go anywhere. I don't think it's going to go nowhere. But I understand what you're saying.
I'm meaning a parent of kids that were in school. Now our kids are all grown, but we're on the grandparent thing, and so now we still have to help our kids and our grandkids, we have to we're now second parents. We still parent. We parent no matter what. But we're the parents of, they call us the parents of wisdom. They say to us sometimes, Dr. Glenn, they say, you're not the same parent that I had. You don't treat my kids like you treated us. That's what they say. But it's just that we're older and we have more wisdom.
That's
we know
right.
more and better how to deal with children than we did when we were having our own.
And that's an actual fact. You're absolutely correct.
So, that's what they say. So we're more wiser, and there's some things that we can teach you because we've already been through it. So
Yeah.
one of the things is that I want to say to you to keep contact with the teachers. If you're a parent with kids in school, make sure that the teacher knows who you are. There's nothing worse than having a parent and not knowing, or having a teacher and nothing. They ask you, at the middle of the year, what's your kid's teacher's name, and you have no clue because you're not getting in there, you're not getting involved. You should know who the teacher is. You should know who the homeroom teacher is. You should know who the principal is. Get involved and go out there and see what's going on with your kid at the school. They have opening nights. They have parent nights, back to school nights. Get yourself out there and meet those people and see who is going to be over your child that whole year.
That's right. And listen to your mother and father. Listen to your parents and your grandparents. And don't get smart and sassy. You ever heard that word before? Don't get sassy. That means don't get smart with your parents. Because number one, how you gonna get smart with somebody that's already smart? Jackie, we have 40 seconds before the break.
40 seconds. So we're just giving you some encouraging tips here. And Dr. Glenn said, don't get smart. A smart mouth.
That's right.
All of them, they can do that. And even our own children did that. So we want to encourage them to not talk back.
That's right. We do want you to get smart. In other words, we want you to be intelligent. But don't get smart as far as talking back and being sassy. Because how you gonna get smart with somebody that's already smart? Your mother, your father, they're already smart people. Believe me. This is Awesome Radio 106.9 FM WBISLP. Back in a moment.
My name is Jayla, and you're to see to my papa, Glenn Johnson, on the radio.
From the Pacific Justice Institute, this is The Legal Edge, defending your rights as a Christian, a parent, and a citizen. Here's Brad Pecos.
Pacific Justice Institute successfully defended Mr. Chad Green, a parental rights advocate in McKinney, Texas. As a local school board member, Mr. Green was the subject of a complaint for allegedly violating the district's, quote, pronoun and gender-based harassment policy. Well, PJI stepped in and defended Mr. Green's First Amendment right of free speech before the Texas Ethics Committee. Learn more about PJI's nearly 200 cases in active litigation by signing up for our free e-newsletter, The Legal Insider, at pji.org.
PJI provides legal representation without charge. Get exclusive email updates by registering for The Legal Insider at pji.org.
This is Awesome Radio, WBIS LP 106.9.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Awesome Radio 106.9 FM WBISLP. And please don't forget that we have various apps for your listening pleasure at the Google Play, the App Store. We're also Roku TV, Amazon Alexa. Of course, we're on the World Wide Web at WBISAwesomeRadio.org. And we're broadcasting live to Facebook. After the broadcast, the videos are always available on YouTube. Just go to the Awesome Radio YouTube page. Same thing for Facebook. If you have a comment or question and would like to call in, the call-in number is 252-756-2008. But please be aware or advised, if you call in, you will be live on the air during your call. So you have to be mindful of your language. We are a Christian radio station. Before I give it over to my co-host, as we were going out to the break, I was saying, don't be smart. Well, I want you to be smart, as in being intelligent. Get your education and become intelligent, intellectual person. So this is not laughing matter or joking matter. And like I said, because how you going to get smart with somebody that's already smart? And I say that because I'll point out two things before I give it up to my co-host. I told my mom one time, I said, Mom, I'm paranoid, schizophrenic. I think I hear voices. You know what she said? She said, that's me. Now get in there, clean that room up like I told you. That's what the voice I was hearing. And that's what she wanted to point out to me. And then I asked my grandmother one time, I said, Grandma, can I ask you a question? Yeah, what is it, boy? Do I call you Big Mama or Grandma? And she said, you're going to call an ambulance if you don't get out of here. So I just want to point that out. There's a lot of laughing matter that was just on my mind. Jackie.
Dr. Glenn, I wanted to give some more tips on what to do here and some things that would help the parents. And one of them is to plan a schedule or a routine for your kids' homework. Let's sit down and make a schedule. Make sure that, like, when the kids come in from school, that you know already. A lot of parents, they want to do it as soon as the kids come from school. That's the best way to do it. And that way, when they come home, you knock it out quickly and you're done with it and you don't have to worry about it anymore. But not having a routine or not asking your kids about homework is not going to ensure their success. But make sure that you're in there and you're finding out if they have homework, and find out and keep in contact with the teacher. We said that earlier. That's your best line of defense. Most teachers send home notes, they send home progress reports, and you should get right there and find out what's going on. You should know. Don't allow the kid to tell you that they don't have homework when they have it every night.
And along the same lines, when you have mentioned what you said, I was just thinking, should their parents approach the children as soon as they get home from school versus just waiting a little while? And I see that in two ways. Number one, if they approach them right away, they can get it done, get in there, get it done. Plus, their mindset is already set on learning. But because the children would say, well, look, we just had 8 hours or so, whatever amount of hours they spent in school. And the last thing they want to do is continue school when they get home from school. So I see that in two different lights. But I think approaching it right away, the onset, is a good idea.
That's the best way, I think, Dr. Glenn, is, and that way you don't have to worry about it. Because a lot of time, if you're saying we'll do this later, then you'll find yourself occupied doing other things, and then later never comes. And then, time can get away, or you're up trying to get them to do their homework before it's time to go to bed. And that's not the best time to do it. It's a lot of times set that time right away because they're fresh out of school. A lot of kids, they don't want to do it right after school, but the best time to do it is right after school, so they have the rest of the evening free.
Yeah, and along the same lines, I thought about how about the big calendar that you could put on the wall? One of the ones that you can write in, or dry eraser, and put on there the daily activities that your children are supposed to follow. Number one, you wake up in the morning, you hit the shower, you have breakfast, off to school. On that same calendar, right up under the line, return from school, homework, or get your whatever you need to get together.
Get your snack. Get your snack first and then do your homework.
Yeah.
They're always hungry when they come in.
And since we're on that part, I would advise you now, I'll just include one school supply in this. And let me ask you a question. Do students even still use pencils?
They definitely use pencils.
Because I know they got tablets and laptops and everything now. All right, so using your pencil or your pen, how about having a highlighter so you can highlight different areas? That's one school supply. That's a necessity. So we're not getting into school supply right now. I just thought about that when Jackie mentioned what she mentioned. Jackie.
But Dr. Glenn, that's a great tip right there. Make sure your child has their school supplies. Whatever the school supply list is, I don't know if they do it here, but when I used to live in another state, they had the school supply list up in Walmart. So in that area, that district, Walmart, the local stores would have the school supply list there, and you could go right there and see what the list was. You didn't have to worry about it. It was in Walmart. But go to the school and find out what it is. And it's best that you're able to supply those particular things that your child needs. And as we talked about earlier, there are free giveaways and certain things. A lot of churches and things that have kids and that are kid oriented, they have supplies and they are giving away supplies. Get out to some of those places and some of those things. Just like you make sure you have what you need on your job, make sure that your child has what they need to be successful in school. And so that's one of the things to do. Make sure they have those things. Like Dr. Glenn is asking if kids use pencils. I don't think they'll ever stop using pencils, Dr. Glenn. They'll be using pencils because that's one of their main things, pencils and ink pens. And so that's one of the things. Make sure they have their supplies. Encourage your child to read. If your child does reading, a lot of the schools, they do a certain amount of time, like 20 minutes a day, where the kids has to read. Make sure that your child does their reading time. Keep a log yourself. Become responsible. Put a timer on and say, look, you're going to start your 20 minutes of reading, and then let your timer go off when that time is up. So you could be responsible with helping your child do it. Or make sure that, you have an accountability system where you can write down the time for them and they can show you that they've done it. That helps encourage kids with their success. also want to say, express high expectations for your kids. Express that you want them to make A's and B's. Express that you want them to be on the honor roll. Encourage them to make and do the highest and do the best that they can do. There's nothing wrong with high expectations. If you don't show that you have any expectations for your kids, then they may not make any of those expectations. They're not going to set any goals for themselves because you're not showing any interest in what they're doing. You're so important to your child. I can't express that enough. And I won't stop saying it over and over again. You're important to your child's success. You're a big part of your child's success and one of the major parts of your child's success. Not the teacher, not the classroom, but the support foundation that they have at home.
I think you're absolutely correct, Jackie. We have 1 minute to go before we go to the break. I would like to hear from a parent, whether your mother or father, in regards to back to school, and what are your thoughts? If you have a comment that you would like to share with us, we have 1 minute to go before we go to the break. But please call in after the break. We'll have more time to discuss with you because we'll have 30 minutes remaining for the broadcast today. So that number to call is 252-756-2008. And with 1 minute to go, I'll go right back over to Miss Jackie Cullins, please.
Yes, I want to say to you, don't just buy them expensive clothes and stuff and have them looking good. Make sure that academically they're doing good. You know, there's something to make sure that their child is dressed fresh every day and they have on the nicest clothes, and then they make the worst grades.
That's
or
right.
They never see you at the school, but you've dressed them to death. You know, it's more to them than just going and being dressed well. They need to be smart. They need to be engaged. They need to be a ready student. You know, and sometimes it's sad to say that sometimes the one that have on the most expensive clothes can sometimes have the worst behavior.
That's right. That's true, though.
Work on their character.
We have 10 seconds to go for the break. After the break, we'll come back with some more safety tips and school supplies. And I'm going to ask Jackie if she can find that document on A.G. Cox School. We'll be back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, this is Monica of Journeys Transportation, and I listen to Awesome Radio.
Get ready for a day of celebration, empowerment, inspiration, motivation, food, fun, and music for all of our beautiful sisters. September 16th, Saturday at Keehan Auditorium, Tarboro, on the campus of Edgecombe Community College. The third annual Sisters Let's Give Them Something to Talk About Women's Empowerment. Doors open at 10 a.m. Festivities begin at 11 a.m. This is a ticketed event. Contact Jamila Robertson Johnson, the visionary of this event, 252-343-0191. Developing a sisterhood circle. This Women's Empowerment promises to be a day of candid conversations about overall mental health, to include managing stress, finding peace with chaos, balancing life and goals, avoiding and overcoming addictions to alcohol and drugs. Keynote speaker, the impressive award-winning Dr. Cheryl Palat Williamson. Musical performance by the sensational Sunshine Anderson. Sisters, let's give them something to talk about women's empowerment. Saturday, September 16th at Keehan Auditorium, Tarboro, on the campus of Edgecombe Community College. Doors open at 10 o'clock a.m. This is a ticketed event. Contact Jamila Robertson Johnson, the visionary of this event, 252-343-0191. 252-343-0191. Sisters, let's give them something to talk about women's empowerment.
We're back. You're listening to The Glenn Johnson Show. You can reach Glenn at glennjohnsonshow@gmail.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Awesome Radio 106.9 FM WBIS-LP. You're tuned into The Glenn Johnson Show, Motivation with Glenn and Jacqueline Cullins Williams. We're talking school, back to school 2023, Pitt County, and back to school safety. We were mentioning some supplies and safety tips. I want to ask my co-host if she had located that document on A.G. Cox Middle School in Winterville. I know they'll be starting school soon. I know that for a fact because my oldest granddaughter will be attending junior or middle school this year. So, Jackie, did you find that document?
I did, Dr. Glenn. I have it here.
It mentions something about supplies.
Yes, this definitely is a supply list. And one of the things I want to mention about on the supply list, and most schools have the same thing, is that there are school fees. There's student fees and there are technology fees. Most of the kids, they use computers and different things or laptops at school, especially since COVID. And they'll have a technology fee where they are able to bring those computers and things home. Make sure that you pay your kids' fees.
And we won't mention what the monetary amount of that is because we don't mention monetary amounts here on Awesome Radio because things are subject to change at a moment's notice. That's one reason why we don't give out monetary amounts and other reasons that I won't get into. But what I will say is, if you want to see it for yourself, please email me at Glenn, Glenn, Glenn Johnson Show at gmail.com. I will forward that document to you and you can see it for yourself. Or simply go to Pitt County Schools. Just Google it and the document will come up in Google as a PDF file. Jackie?
Definitely. One of the things that I see here on the school list here is that it has a teacher's wish list. I hear a lot of parents say too that what happened to all those supplies? It looks like I'm buying stuff for the teacher.
You know why I'm laughing?
Dr. Glenn?
Although I can't find my document, the reason why I'm laughing because I look at that list and when it got to the teacher's wish list, the number one thing on there was earplugs.
Well, I don't think those are for the teacher. I think those might be for the students too. That might be for both. But I think, and that could even be a joke. I don't know, Dr. Glenn. Why would the teacher need earbuds?
I don't think it's a joke because they have it on the list. Then the school wouldn't put out anything relative to joking. But there must be a reason why they have earplugs on there. But now I'm curious to know why. So when my granddaughter do start, I'm going to ask her if she would kindly look into that. Let me know.
Definitely. But it says certain things like Clorox wipes and things. If there are things for your teacher's classroom and you're able to purchase those things, get it. I definitely know that those things, if they ask you for them, then they are needed in the classroom. Like, certain classes, they have snacks or they have a snack time. If you can afford to buy some of those snacks, bring those for the classroom and for that. So to help that teacher with those snacks in the classroom, I know they're needed. I know in the afternoon, a lot of times kids are hungry, and this is after lunch and they get a snack. Bring that snack if you're able to afford to do so and help that teacher in that classroom out.
And along with the snacks, like you said, they point out some good things, some wipes and things like that. So I did view the list earlier. There are some very good things on there. As Jackie mentioned, the wipes, hand sanitizer, alcohol, lotion, and unfragrant or fragrant-free supplies.
Kleenex, bring Kleenex. If they ask you for Kleenex, believe me, Kleenex is needed. You know how many runny noses that get to be there and allergies and things that are going on. Some of your kids have a runny nose. Their nose is running at home all day. So imagine what it's doing at school and they're touching everything. They got to keep continuing to blow it. Those tissues and things are needed. Those are things that they're not using at home. So, they're going to need that at school as well. So go ahead and purchase those things if you're able to.
Yeah, and if you do out and purchase anything, particularly if it's for the snack time, as Jackie mentioned, you might want to buy something and offer to your services for snack time. But I want you to keep one thing in mind: food allergies and stuff. Please investigate what's allowed and what's not allowed, because a lot of children are allergic to certain things that they might not even be aware of. Their parent might just be learning; they might be allergic to nuts or things like that. So I would advise you, before you pick up anything and take it to the school, you find out exactly what it is that's required and the regulations, because you don't want to take anything there that's going to harm someone. Jackie?
Definitely, Dr. Glenn. And most schools are a peanut-free zone.
Yeah.
And even daycares, they're peanut-free zones. They don't have those things there. So don't bring things that may have peanut. And then the kids they also know what they're allergic to, and the teacher. So that's why the contact with the teacher is very important, so you can know what to bring and what's going to be beneficial for the class. And sometimes even bringing bottles of water. I know that kids, a lot of times they wanted water afterwards. They want flavored water. They're going outside, they're coming in, they're hot, and a lot of times they want flavored water. Sometimes just bring the flavor for the water, and that would be beneficial for the kids.
Yeah, those flavor packs, right?
Definitely. So there's a lot of things that you could do. And even if you don't have money and you're able to buy food or something in some way, go ahead and help out that classroom in any way you can. I'm sure that teacher is going to appreciate it. It's going to show that you're participating with your child. It's going to show your child that you care about what goes on in the classroom, and you're bringing supplies to help everybody in that particular area. Dr. Glenn?
I think that's so true, because everybody needs a little helping hand. Everybody, what's he saying? It takes a village to raise a child. I would certainly agree with that. It's not well, all those are sole responsibility of the parents. It does, in my mind, take a village to raise a child. We'll have 3 minutes to go for the next break, and then we'll be back with our final 20 minutes. Jackie, you want to go for 3 minutes?
Yes, definitely. I wanted to say, use your volunteer opportunities. Volunteer at the school. There's always something that you can do. They're always having certain nights. They're having certain engagements. They're having certain programs and things, and they can use you. Become a part of the parent committee. There are parent committees at every school. And even if it's just for a certain thing, Halloween and different things and different holidays, they have certain things that they put on at the school. Become a volunteer and go there and help out. Let these people know you, let them know your face, and let them know that you're available. Your kid will appreciate it, and the teachers and the school staff will as well.
I think that is so true. And I want you to encourage your student, your child, as a student, to help out. They can help out too. I know their main responsibility and goal is to receive an education. But I want you to ask your child, would you like to be the thermometer of a classroom or the thermostat? Because there's a difference. The thermometer actually reads the temperature of the room, whereas the thermometer controls the temperature of the room. So you just want to read it, or do you want to control it? You can help control the temperature of a classroom by your thoughts and input. Although you might be a student, a young child, some of our young children or adults are very intelligent. So my hats off to you. All right, if you're one of those students, that's pretty much well off as far as your education is concerned. We have 1 minute, Jackie.
Definite parents. And I want to say, have a good attitude about it. Don't tell the kids, I can't wait till you get out of here and go back to school. Parents, they did that all the time to us. We can't wait till school starts so you can go, as if you don't want to deal with your own kids. That's not a good attitude. And that's also conveying to the child that you're being gotten rid of by going to school. That doesn't give school a good image. Make sure that let's deal with it with reality. If you have something that you don't want to deal with, why make the child think that it's okay for you to pawn that off on somebody else?
Yeah, you don't want the child to think like you're in a criminal court system where you're the judge, and now you just handed out a sentence for 8 hours a day. It's not. You're not sending your child to a correctional institution. You're sending your child to a learning institution, an educational institution, an institution of higher education. If you're young adults in college or university, so those are some things, as Jackie pointed out. Don't be antagonistic, and just encourage them to do better and be all they can be. Like I said, our children could one day be president of the United States of America. This is Awesome Radio, 106.9 FM, WBIS LP. This is the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn. We'll be back in a moment.
Keep it locked right here to the Glenn Johnson Show.
And now, Fastened Like Nails with Dr. Mark Hamby.
In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 10 says this: if the iron is blunt and one does not sharpen the edge, you must use more strength. Okay, like People have chainsaws. If they hit a rock, it gets really dull fast, and they just don't sharpen it because it takes a lot of time to sharpen the chain. But you just keep, for me, I just keep using more strength to just get through the log, right? And if I would just take the time to sharpen, the blade, it would be like butter. That's the way it is in life.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. If you don't have a sharp edge to you, if you're not sharpened by knowledge and experience and wisdom, then everything you do in life is going to be difficult, but when you gain knowledge and experience and wisdom, you're able to make quick decisions. You're able to see the end of things. You're able to know what works and what doesn't work.
Learn to think things through and not just rush into them.
Absolutely. So if the iron is blunt and you don't sharpen the edge, you will use more strength. But it says wisdom brings success. Wisdom is the skill that makes things beautiful and